Well, I hope you're all enjoying your Saturday. This is the day before tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the sun moving into gate two, and this is from the 24. And as we discussed last Sunday, gate 24 is a very mentally oriented gate and can get really stuck in the circles and the tautologies of thought networks. And yet, if transcended, can spiral out into creative layers of expression and understanding. And this shift into gate two tomorrow is as we're going to be moving into May, what is it, May 4th? It'll be it'll be another Taurus gate. This will be gate two. And as you can see in this chart, there's a lot of different activations here. We have activation with the G center to the throat with two different channels. And that's going to be the 731 and the 1-8. And you see below that and I'll show with my cursor, you see gate two here is activated. And that's the gate where the sun is going to be. So I put most of attention on that in these kind of every 5 to 6 day sun gate transits in the human design graph. And the reason I do that is because it's 60, I think it's 60% or up to 80% of all the neutrinos that filtrate from the sun into our system are all of the sun. Yeah, the sun's neutrinos. And so that would be gate two. So the gate two shift is something you guys will most likely feel. So pay attention to how you feel Sunday and Monday. What it is, it's a reorientation of sorts. Because the two is the first gate in the I Ching is a yang gate. And so the second gate is a yin gate. My understanding historically is that originally this yin gate was number one and the yang was number two. And so, the dichotomy of the feminine and the masculine. But as it's labeled now, it's the yin gate and it is a Taurus gate. And the name of it in human design, one of the names, people are varying on the names of these portals. But the name that I'm using today is receptivity. And that's kind of receptivity to guidance. And it's a very natural connection to the unseen and that which is unexplicable. And so it's very similar to the other gates here that go all the way from the sacral up into the mental center on top, the head center on the top. These are all very individual gates. And that means that the way energy is expressed is individual. It's not for the collective or for the tribe, but it's an individuated expression. And this is coming off the sacral, so this is a response energy. And two brings forth a new orientation. Now, in its lowest frequency, it expresses an orientation that is withdrawn, that feels off, dismembered, cut off, lost in time, dejected. It feels as if the way has been lost. But that's just a feeling. It's not the inner reality because our perception is determined ultimately by our biological frames of awareness. And this, of course, is also limited and structured by our hormonal, our glands, all our systems. And, for better or for worse, there is a lot of programming in the human body that can be overcome. Now, this can lead to a fear frequency. It can lead to a feeling of interference or of just being off, not on the correct pattern of awareness. And so it demands a reorientation of frame and perspective of how we look at life. So this next week is a great time to make the time either in the beginning of the day or end of the day or both to really sit with how you feel. and feel into it and not look in your mind for the reason why, but to feel what it is you need to feel and allow a new orientation of awareness to take place. It's rarely talked about, the word meditation is bandied about, but no one or rarely do people really express what it is. It's an attention to inward processes, and the body automatically begins to filter out unnecessary images and recordings and data that it was exhausted with throughout the day. And so that underlies and underscores the great importance of sitting or standing or however one wants to do their meditative practices. But ultimately, it's a reorientation because breathing is something that becomes the focus. And the reason is that breathing becomes the focus is so that our energy moves from out of the mind into other areas of the body. And in this case, we have two channels active. Gate 2 is not going to be it is part of the channel of alchemy with gate 14, which supplies the resources for expression, for the unique expression of gate 2, which is very creative. But in this particular instance, for the next week or next 5, 6 days or so, the reorientation will have to do with also with expressing verbally and communicating your insights and your awareness. The 731 is the channel of the alpha. So that's about, oh, the 7 is about leadership and the 31 is about influence. And so this is an energy that takes charge. And so that energy will be available to utilize this week. And then we have the 1-8 channel, 8-1, and that channel there is also individual in its expression. Oftentimes, this is a talent for singing or for expressing through the voice in a creative way. And just like the 214, this particular channel is composed of Taurus and Scorpio. 7 and 31 is Leo. 31, I can't remember if it's Leo or not. I'll have to look at the wheel. Ultimately, this is the energy. These are the only two active channels for this coming week. So pay attention to the quality and sound of your voice. And also look and see who's trying to take charge in the environment, who's naturally taking charge in support of everyone. And then pay attention to your creative expression that is looking for resources in order to express itself. And that'll be what to look out for this week. Gate 2 is as I was saying earlier, it's a very receptive, feminine, yin-oriented gate, and it's looking for guidance. It's looking to reorient itself towards unity, towards connection. And it's about your own personal resonance to what is true and to the ultimate frequency that we all are attempting to connect with, and which is at the source of our being. It's like the concept of the Bindu in from Hindu culture. The concept that that we all have this center. And there, or at least the tantric perspective, rather, not the Hindu necessarily, but the tantric perspective is that the Bindu is a center of being. And the misconception usually is that it's your core self that's at the center of being, but really it's not. It's actually the idea of that I've been discussing a lot with Gary in terms of the toroidal field and how the center of our being is our focal point of awareness expressed by the sun. But as the toroidal field moves with centripetal and centrifugal energy in and out, as it reaches the farthest point from the center, it becomes the center. And this I was talking about the black sun symbolism of Pluto being farthest away in a vast icy world beyond or close to beyond the Oort cloud is where Pluto lies. And But that's also the core of our being because the asteroids and Pluto represent that which is repressed and hidden within us. And that far away, vast, empty absence is actually our deepest presence. Because at the core of our being, the Bindu is symbolic for an emptiness. But that emptiness is everything that we are. It is the frequency of all of us and us resonating with that. And I'll leave you guys with that and hope you enjoy your week. And thanks for watching and supporting my channel and subscribing. And feel free to recommend to a friend as I move towards more and more subscribers. And thanks so much.